Hi, I'm Marci Shimoff, and I am so happy for great reason to get to be here with my dear friend and my health coach and consultant, Matt Riemann.
Thank you, Marci.
Great to have you.
Thank you so much. And it's so beautiful to be here with Marci Shimoff, who is just an amazing, beautiful soul. And Marci, I'd love to for you to share a little bit about the amazing work you're doing with happiness and love and everything for everyone to listen to.
Sure. So I have, for the last decade or more, studied happiness. I wrote a book called Happy for No Reason, 7 Steps to Being Happy from the Inside Out. I wrote another book called Love for No Reason, about living with unconditional love. Earlier in my career, I wrote the women's books in the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and I was also one of the featured teachers in the film and book The Secret. So I've gotten to have wonderful experiences traveling around the world, sharing with people how to raise their happiness set point, how to live happier, more fulfilled lives, honestly the lives that we all know we're here to live. And I am here in my house. We are here overlooking the San Francisco Bay, and I've been here. Matt has been visiting me for the last week. He's been working with me on health. I've been doing his fantastic PH 360 program. So Matt, why don't you tell people what it is that you do?
Love to share. So we're very interested in a conversation about health at this point in time, and we really work at a large scale helping people understand how to be happy and healthy. And we really break down the physical body in the essence of what we call epigenetics, so things outside of our genes that can really influence our health and happiness. And we look at the main areas that in foods, in exercise, in the way our mind works, in our environment and climate, in our social interactions, and in the talents that we have naturally, and what we do with those talents with our time and with our careers. And really helping people understand, based on our physical body, the way our genes look in action, we can really start to harness the power in all these areas and actually control our health and control our life and control our future. So it's really awesome to be able to spend so much time with you, Marci, here, and it's just been so great to connect over this time at your beautiful place. And really, the work that you're doing is just so important with the work that we're doing, and it's just great to be able to share and support each other in that. And happiness is one of the keys. That's really is our message, and we are approaching things at the moment from if we can help people align in their physical bodies, they can be more happy. Often, we have at the moment there's over 3 billion people in the world as we speak that are suffering from chronic pain and disease. It's staggering.
Outrageous. And almost half the world's population has some kind of chronic pain, chronic disease.
Right now as we speak. And so it's very difficult for people to be happy when you're in pain or disease. And so we're really looking to have a conversation. How can we help people avoid pain or disease so they can have the opportunity to be happy and a really a positive contribution towards where we're going as humanity. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you want to share on that, Marci, because it's such an important piece.
Well, what I so love and appreciate about what you're doing, and what's different than what I've seen anywhere else in the world, is you're really dealing with the personalized health program. So what I'm supposed to eat is different from what you're supposed to eat, is different from what you're supposed to eat. And how we exercise. And you even deal with the mind component, how we meditate, or how we deal with quieting the mind. All of these are very particular and individual. And it's so interesting because what I found in my research and work in the area of happiness is that it's the same thing you're finding. As far as happiness goes, it's very personal and individual. What I found is that there are 21 main happiness habits. The only difference between people who are happy and the rest of the world is that they have different habits. Wow. And there are 21 main happiness habits. Now, some of those I'm naturally good at. Some of those you're naturally good at. Some of those we're naturally bad at, and the rest are kind of in the middle. And when people find what are the ones that they're not very good at doing naturally, and they work on those first, they find that they raise what science has called their happiness set point. And let me explain that just a little bit, because I think that's a really important key to all of this. Absolutely. And my guess is, Matt, that there's also a health set point that would be parallel to this. So here's what research has found about happiness. And this was thrilling to me because I was not a happy camper. I had a lot of success in my life. I've had everything I thought I needed to be happy, and I still wasn't. And I actually remember, I'll share just a quick little story. Please, yeah. I found myself one day, it was in the summer of 1998, and I had everything I thought I wanted in life. In fact, I actually, when when I was in my 20s, I set 5 goals for myself. And I thought that when I had those 5 goals, that would be it. I would for sure be happy. And I think that a lot of people can relate to that. You know, we all have this, I'll be happier when. I'll be happier when I get the better job, or I make more money, or all of these, I get married, or I get divorced, or the all popular, I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds.
Right.
So I had 5. They were, I'll be happy when I have a great career helping a lot of people, when I have a great husband or life partner, when I have wonderful friends, a nice comfortable home, and the equivalent of Halle Berry's body. Now, I got 4 out of the 5. I don't have Halle Berry's body, but I do have a pretty healthy body. And so in the summer of 1998, I had 3 books in the top 5 on the New York Times bestseller list at the same time. I had a great relationship, wonderful friends, a great home, a healthy body, and I had just finished giving a speech to 8,000 people. And I had autographed 5,432 books. I felt like an author rock star. My client had a massage therapist massaging my hand every half hour so I wouldn't get carpal tunnel syndrome. And, you know, I had it all. And I remember going up to my hotel room, which was the penthouse suite that my client had gotten for me, and I looked out at this fabulous view, and I plopped onto the bed, and I burst into tears. And I burst into tears because I realized that I couldn't fool myself anymore into thinking that just one more thing was going to bring me that happiness that I was longing for. There was an emptiness inside. And this is an epidemic as well. Along with the health epidemic, there is an unhappiness epidemic. 25% of women are on antidepressants. 1 out of 4 women is on antidepressants. And we have more than we've ever had in history, throughout history, and we are unhappier than we were in 1960. So we're looking for happiness in all the wrong places. And what's so exciting about the research that's out now is that it's shown that we all have what's called a happiness set point. And it's like a thermostat setting. No matter what you do, whether you have good things or bad things happen to you, you will generally hover around your thermostat setting. So for example, people who win the lottery and you think, oh, that's gonna raise my happiness set point. It will, for a short period of time. Right. But within a couple of months, you will return to your original happiness set point. The same is true of people who have tragedies happen to them. Within a couple of months or up to a year, you will return to that original happiness set point. So the key here is to raise our happiness set point, and it's something that everybody can do. It's simple. It's not rocket science. It's just simple habits. And that's what I found. There are 21 main habits that anyone can change to raise their happiness set point. And here's the part that I think you'll really appreciate about the happiness set point, Matt. You're an expert in the field of epigenetics. So here's what they found about happiness set point. It is only 10% our circumstances, such a small little piece of the pie. That's what everybody's busy trying to change. It's 50% our DNA, our genes. Now, up until now, people have thought, oh, well, you can't change that either. The other 40% is our habits of thoughts and behavior, and that's what we can really change to raise our happiness set point. But what's really fascinating, and what I imagine you would agree with, is that the 50% that's genetic can be influenced or changed when we change those 40% that are our habits, which says that up to 90% of our happiness set point can be changed when we change these habits. So tell me what your thoughts are about that.
I love it, Marci, and that's we always share the same message. We just use different language, and it's so important because so many people out there hear things differently. They have different neurotypes. That means they understand things differently. And just what you share there is so powerful because that's exactly what we're helping people understand with the work that we're doing. Is saying, I'll use your example of Halle Berry was one of the things on your list to be happy. And we help people understand how unique they are and how different everybody is. And there's not one single person on the planet that's the same. There's no way that you will ever be Halle Berry. There's no way it's not physically possible. And so when you can understand that you're different and everybody's different and has our own different strengths and geniuses, we can start to understand that, wow, it's really unrealistic for me, or it's a false expectation, or actually a belief that we have that causes us to not be happy if we don't achieve the body like Halle Berry. But when we can understand it's very unrealistic and we can actually work to change a belief, which is even actually in our subconscious mind, we can start to realize that everything can change quite quickly and we can actually be happy because what we thought we needed to achieve was unrealistic or was a belief that didn't exist. And so we go into a lot of depth looking at how we can actually change that. We can change the way that people think. We can change the neurochemistry with the foods that we eat. We can change it with the people you hang out with. You can change it with how you perceive stress or how you see situations with your mind, different perspectives that you have. And so we're really helping bring this conversation to say that everybody's so unique and so different. And if you can understand who you are and really own that and understand your strengths and your genius, you can really truly be happy, because you can understand that you're not trying to be like someone else. You're not trying to set these unrealistic expectations or have these beliefs that aren't ever going to be you. And it really does resonate so much with the language that we use, that everybody can be happy. And we have the potential, as you say, up to 90%. When we can understand who we are, we have the potential to actually control that now. You can change the food you put in your mouth. You can change the people you hang out with. You can change the way that you think about something or the way you perceive an event or a belief that you have. You can change the environment you live in. You can change all these different circumstances, which actually determines your health, your life trajectory, your future. You can determine and you can control your own happiness. And 90% is a good figure. And it's actually matches right around what we talk about, is around 90 to even up to 95%. We have the control in our own lives. What's predetermined for us is a very small component. We actually have the power to actually control what we do, and it's amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, and what I really so appreciate about what you talk about is that we're not destined, our genes don't determine what's going to happen, it's what genes are expressed. Right. So you can turn on certain genes and turn off other genes, and knowing how to do that is spectacular. And you know, in Happy for No Reason, I talk about these 21 happiness habits, but I break them down into 7 main areas, because I found that they fall into 7 main areas that people need to focus on for greater happiness. Right. And it very much relates to what you're doing. I'll share what these 7 areas are. People can't remember things when you say 7, but I created an analogy or a metaphor, and I call it building your inner home for happiness. And a home has 7 main components. It's got a foundation. It's got 4 corner pillars that the walls stand up around. It's got a roof, and it's got a garden. And here's how these relate to the 7 main areas of happiness. The foundation is taking responsibility for your life and for your happiness. Not being a victim, not waiting for something outside of you to change to think that you're going to be happier, but saying, I can take care, I can do something about this now. So that's the very first step. Then there's the 4 corner pillars, and they're the pillars of the mind, the heart, the body, and the soul. Yeah. So our mind, what are we thinking? Our heart, what are we feeling? Do we have gratitude? Do we live in forgiveness? Do we have loving kindness? Our body, how are we eating? How are we exercising? How are we sleeping? All the things that you talk about. And then our soul, our spirit, are we feeling connected to the bigger spirit of the universe? And then there's the roof of our home for happiness, is our purpose or passion in life. Are we living the life we're here to live, the purpose that we're here to do? And then our garden is, who are we surrounded by? Are we surrounded by weeds or toxic people? Or are we surrounded by roses and gardenias? And so these 7 areas are the 7 areas that we need to address in raising our happiness set point. And what's so amazing is that you address all 7 of those areas in the PH 360 program. And so for people who aren't familiar with PH 360, why don't you give a little quick explanation of what that is?
Yeah, sure. Well, we've spent the last 10 years, or a bit over 10 years, working out a way that we can help people understand this. How can we make this information accessible for the entire population? Our overarching mission is to work towards eliminating chronic disease and pain from the planet entirely by 2050. And so we're trying to answer some pretty big questions here, and this is a way that we've been able to develop it. We call it Personal Health 360 or PH 360, which is a way that you can now go online and access. You can do an assessment, which takes about 30 minutes, to find out all about yourself. And it's what we call your phenotype, or it measures the expression of your genes or expression of your genotype. And we can measure which genes you have switched on and off, and you can know all about these different areas of your health, specifically about, we understand in the back end about your organs and about your hormones and about the way your brain works and all these different amazing sciences that go into it. And then we can help you understand about your epigenetics, so all these things around you, like the foods and exercise and social interactions and all the things we're speaking about. We can help you understand which things are going to positively express your genes so that you can be healthy and happy. And that's really what we call PH 360. It's an online platform that can really help you understand everything about your life and help you navigate towards health and happiness. and really be empowered with that. As you say, even your first layer of the foundation, we're actually in control. We're empowered to be able to look after ourselves. We're responsible for our own health. It's not the government's fault or the insurance company's fault. We can take control of all our health. So PH360 is a way that anyone in the world can access that, and it's we're really excited to be able to bring that out.
And it's absolutely brilliant. And what I love is that I think most people want to take care of themselves, but they don't know how. They don't know what's right. There are diets and everything. You could be bombarded with all of the research about don't eat fat, don't eat carbs, don't eat protein, and it's all conflicting, and I get so confused. And you've seen my cupboards, that I have so many supplements out there. I don't know what to take. I do my best to eat the right foods. And what I so appreciate about this program is it took me about 30 minutes to go in and answer questions, and you do some little measurements of how high is your forehead and things like that. And it was simple to do. And I got a really specific printout of what I'm to be eating right now. I get 5 smiley faces, I eat this a lot. If I get 4 smiley faces, I eat this sometimes, and on. And you get these frowny faces, don't eat it at all. And it's shocking and fabulous and enlightening. And I've been on the program now for over a week, and I really notice a difference. I notice that I feel more balanced. I feel more calm. People around me have noticed that as well.
Absolutely.
I notice that my digestion is much, much better. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. And overall, I just feel better in my body. Now, this is only after a little over a week. So I was inspired by this by a mutual friend of ours, Jennifer McLean, who's been doing this program for over 6 months. And she is just raving about the changes in her health. And she looks
amazing, doesn't she?
fantastic. And so it makes so much sense to me to know what is it that I'm supposed to eat. I had my dear friend and my business partner, Deborah Poneman, came over, and she did the program with us and filled out her assessment. And some of the things overlap that she's supposed to eat that I eat, and some of them don't. And I wouldn't have known certain fruits that I didn't know. I just knew fruits generically. Okay, I eat a small amount or a certain amount, or certain vegetables generically. But now I know specifically what vegetables do I eat, what grains do I eat, which rice, why is one rice better than another rice? Why now quinoa and not next week quinoa? And the thing that's cool about it is that it changes. You go and you update it every month. And you update it based on where you're, is it winter, is it summer, where am I living? And it's so brilliant. Am I traveling right now or not? And it doesn't just address the food piece. It addresses the exercise piece. What kind of exercises should I be doing? What kind of people is it good for me to be around right now? What are the meditation practices that would be good for me? So I've never seen anything like it, and I think it's amazing. And I appreciate that you've done this 10 years of research and hooked people up to all these monitors to see what happens to them when they eat a particular food. And also what else I love is that these biotypes that you talk about. When you told me what biotype I was, that you have 6, I know you have 360 biotypes, but you've narrowed them down to 6 main biotypes. And I found out I was the connector. I was like, yes, that's what I love to do. I'm a connector.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. And it really is. Everybody's so different. And when you can start to understand more about who you are naturally, you can really start to go, oh, well, that's who I am. And I'm very comfortable with myself, and I really own that. And I'm responsible for who I am. And I'm not trying to be like someone else. Often we'll see with the media, and what we see out there is we're trying to be like Halle Berry. Right. But really, Halle Berry sits over a completely different part of the whole world and the whole of the universe compared to where Marci sits. And so Halle's probably sitting there wishing, oh, gee, I wish I was more like Marci. I wish I had the fun and the energy and the connections and everything that Marci's just shining through in every possible way. There's so many people, I'm sure, that are probably watching this video go, oh, I wish I could just be as happy as Marci. It really is, and that for them is probably unrealistic in many different times. So it really is so important to understand that everybody has the opportunity to be happy, but in their own way.
In their own way, that's the thing, to not compare. I mean, comparison is the death of us. Right. And to think that we're supposed to do exactly what the next person does is not right. And that's why with Happy for No Reason, we have this personalized happiness plan. And with PH360, you have a personalized health plan. And there is no question that health and happiness are totally connected. Some of the research that's been found on happiness is that when people are happier, they're 1/3 less likely to get sick. They live on average 9 years longer, way lower incidence of hypertension and cardiovascular disease and all kinds of things. So when you're happier, you're healthier, but also when you're healthier, as you said, you're happier.
It's hand in hand. It really is our message. We actually use that a lot in saying that we're here to help people understand how to be happy and healthy. Find out how unique they are so they can be happy and healthy. It really is, the two go hand in hand, and that really is the reason why we're having a conversation about health at the moment, is to understand that if we're healthy, we can be happy. We have got the potential to achieve why we're actually here on this earth in the first place. So there's a much bigger conversation around all of this that we're both very aware of, and it really is great to be able to bring these tangible conversations to people. You can give 21 or 7 steps and 21 ways to be happy. We can talk about 6 main areas in your epigenetics, or 6 main areas in your life where you can actually get really tangible information, understand who you are, so that you can be happy and healthy. It really is amazing, and as you said with PH360, the best bit is that you can actually change, or you change as you change. PH360 changes as you change.
Right.
And so and I'm sure you've probably experienced this yourself, what makes you happy when you're younger changes as you go over time. And so what I would do for happiness now, in 10 years' time, I'll probably be doing something different that makes me happy in 10 years' time. I'll be doing something different 10 years after that, and 10 years ago I would have been doing something different that makes me happy then. And so we're always changing, and when we can check in with the tools that you have and check in with PH360 so regularly, you can really just be on top of who we are right now.
And what I love is that these days, I think we live in a really special time. And it's a special time when there are these tools that are available for people. These techniques, tools, PH360, the computer, the internet, all of that. But when I talk about tools, I mean even mental tools, emotional tools, emotional freedom technique, or the Sedona method, or there's so many forgiveness techniques, Ho'oponopono, and so many different things that we can do also with our foods. And to really have access to these tools, it's what's going to help people live healthier, happier lives. And so I think it's an exciting time, and it's simple for people. People might think, oh, it's so complicated, how am I going to do this? But it's not. It's simple. You start doing a couple little things and you notice the changes right away. Just like in the last week, I've already noticed the changes.
Right. So. It's so true. And the key is really, as you say, just understanding what's right for you, that we're all different. Personalised happiness, personalised health, it really is just saying what's right for me. And as you shared, even with the foods, am I supposed to do a juice fast, or a paleo diet, or high fat, or no fat, or low fat, or where
it can drive you crazy. That alone can make me unhappy.
It can, and so to cut the confusion out of there really makes such a huge difference to people. And it's so simple now, and we have the information available, and we have amazing people like you, Marci, that can help us understand how to be happy. I'm just so excited about the work you're doing, and it's so great to be able to spend so much time with you.
And the website that people can go to for PH360 is, tell everybody.
PH360.me, PH360.me. That is where we are for PH360. We'd love for you guys to check that out and learn more. And Marci, can you tell us a bit more about where to find more about you?
Very easy, happyfornoreason.com, happyfor, noreason.com. And come join the happiness revolution that's happening, the health revolution that's happening. And
together the world will be a healthy and happy place.
And that's what we all want. Great to be with you.
Thank you so much for listening in. Thank you, Marci.
Thank you, Matt.